Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Writing Switch webinar on how creativity works. Thank you so much for joining us this early. We're grateful. Thank you for not taking us for granted, for keeping to time. And we'll be starting shortly. So just give us a minute to bring in more people and we'll start. Thank you so much for joining us, and I'll see you soon. Thank you. Hello, everyone. What's your name and where you're joining us from, and how the temperature, the weather is over there? Because this is like a global event, a global audience. I would want to know where people are joining us from. So use the chat to tell us what your name is, where you're joining us from, and what you do, and what the weather is like at your side. Looking forward to reading your comments, your chats, and having a great time with each and every one of you. My name is Teresa Adikule, and I'll be the moderator for this section today. Thank you so much. Thank you so much once again for joining us, and I will be with you shortly. Hi, everyone. I can introduce myself earlier. My name is Teresa Adekunle, and I'll be your moderator. Is what you do and where you're joining us from, and what the weather is like at your end. So I'm looking through the chat. I'm not seeing anybody yet, and that's why I'm repeating this question. So please just go into the chat and tell me what's your name, what you do, and where you're joining us from, and what the weather is like. Because this is a global audience, we believe that um, people are joining us from around the world, and we just want to get a sense of where everyone is joining us from. So please use the comment section to tell us. Okay. Hi, Butterberry. Are you sure your name is Butterberry? Is that your like name? Anyway, it's nice to meet you, Butterberry. And you're saying that you're chatting from Nigeria at the moment. Thank you for joining us. And Sunday, thank you. You're the host, and the weather is cool here. That's good. Thank you. So I want more people to tell us what your name is, where you're joining us from, and what the weather is like at your hand. I'll be looking into the chat, and I just want us to have expectations, because this is an event. This is a webinar that is not just mouth, it's not just thoughts. It's one that would change how you write, how you view creativity, and how you turn your thoughts into intentional expressions. In the era of everybody's trying to do content creation, it's very important that we learn how to do it properly, we learn how to do it the right way. And this is why every one of you is here today, which is why every one of you is gathered here today. So I'm still looking into the chat, and I want to see your responses, because I would like to know those that are joining us. And it's not just about me, it's about connecting with people, connecting with others, and everybody as well. This is the place where you can network and meet new people. So it's very important that you're free. This is a safe space. So it's very important that you're free and you're ready to um, network with people as well. So I would wait for 1 more minute to have everybody introduce themselves, and I would be back. Thank you. Hi, Abidemi. Abidemi says she's a creative writer and the weather is okay at her hand. Hi, Abidemi. Thank you for joining us. Chooks, thank you for joining us. Please tell us your name, where you're joining us from, and how the weather is like at your hand. And before we go straight into the webinar, we just like to play a quick game. And I want us to be alert and ready. There are no, I don't think there are prizes, but at least you get the glory of being the winner at today's event. So please just be ready, be sharp, be alert. If you're sleeping, wake up, because we are about to get into some interesting and interactive game. And I want you to be on your A game. Did you see what I did there? Yes. I want you to be on your A game. So the game is simple. Hi, Mr. Oluwanti. The weather is, oh, I can imagine. I don't know where you're joining us from, so, but the weather here is hot. Lagos is hot. The heat is killing us. But yeah, we're glad that you can join us today. Thank you for joining us. And so we'll be going right into the games. And I just want us to be at alert. This game is going to test our knowledge and our how much we know science and life and everything in general, basic things actually. So please just give me a moment and I will be with you shortly. Thank you. I think my first question of the day is how is Lagos, how is Nigeria treating us? For those of us that are in Nigeria, with the icon in control with the age and everything? That would be my first question. So as a writer, if you're going to describe how Nigeria is at the moment, how would you describe it in a sentence? So I want us to put in our creative cap and just tell me how you can describe the situation of Nigeria in a sentence. So I'm looking through the charts. Just tell me how you think you can describe Nigeria in a sentence. So anybody. Or should I ask if you're mute your mic and speak if you're more of an expressive person? So if you'd like to speak, please raise up your hands and I would unmute you and get you to speak. But if you're okay with typing, so just let me know in the comment section how to describe Nigeria in a sentence. I'm waiting. Okay, I'm actually waiting, guys. So don't leave me hanging. Okay, since nobody is willing to answer me, I will just get into my question. If you're just joining us, thank you so much for joining us. My name is Teresa Adekunle, and I'll be your moderator for today. Oh, somebody said Nigeria is an African melting pot hypothesis. That is a lot of words, serious words. That it would take like a full masterclass to decipher what you just said. You said Nigeria is an African melting pot hypothesis. Interesting. Somebody said the weather is an oxymoron. Wow. I love what I'm hearing. I love what I'm hearing. So let's have others. Let's have others if you'd like to say anything. Like this wisdom is choke. I'm waiting for others. If you would describe Nigeria in a sentence, what would Nigeria be to you? So, while others are waiting to drop their questions, their answers rather, I'll just go straight into the games that we have. So it's a simple game. So every word, I just want you to get some words. So I would every of the word I'm going to be saying, they start with the letter I. Okay, Jeffrey is saying, though it rained last night, hot water flows from my shower. Interesting. That means the rain didn't do much. So, anyways, going right into it. So the first game. So, like I said, every word that I'm trying to explain starts with the letter I. So the first thing is, what word means to copy someone's speech or behavior? So all this starts with letter I. So I just need to take a guess. What word does it mean to copy somebody's speech or behavior? Imitate. Thank you, Chooks. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, yes, imitate. So I think what I will say again is that the words are in their verb and not the noun. So that would help. So we're not that. That's not it. But let's go on. So the second question is, what is the colored part of the eye called? The colored part of the eye. What is it called? The int is start with letter I. And so if you're in science class in secondary school, I'm sure you must have joined this once or twice. Thank you. Yes, yes, iris. Or does anybody have a differing answer? Iris, yes. Also, are you sure or you're asking us? What does it mean to supply water to a farmland? The word to supply water to a farmland. I would know this because I studied agriculture. So yeah, I'm always excited to answer this kind of question. So yes, Jeffrey, I know you wanted to write irrigate, but maybe he also thought it's not aligning with you. So irrigation, yes, irrigation. Thank you so much. To irrigate. Then yes, irrigate or irrigation. What is money earned from doing work? Money earned from doing work. It starts with the letter I, don't forget. Money earned from doing work. Income, yes, income. So a person who pretends to be someone else to deceive others. A person who pretends to be someone else to deceive others. A person who pretends to be someone else to deceive others. You think that this is quite similar to imitate. What does this mean? And it starts with the letter I. A person starts with the letter I. A person who pretends to be somebody else. Tricks, you're close. Yeah, impersonation, yes. Imposter is the word I was looking for, imposter. When something is forbidden by law, we say that thing is what? When something is forbidden by law, what do we say that thing is? Don't forget, it starts with the letter I. So if you're onto something, but the word I was looking for is illegal. So to question someone aggressively. To question someone aggressively. I see what you guys are doing. Yes, the word I'm looking for is interrogate. So what is the solid form of water called? The solid form of water. The solid form of water. Ice. Yes, definitely. What word defines the inability to sleep? A word that defines the inability to sleep. And like I said, all the words that I'm giving you starts with the letter I. What word defines the inability to sleep? Insomnia, thank you. And so that people will be looking at your spelling of insomnia and be wondering that, did I actually go to school? Like, what's going on? Like, is it INSMINA or INSOMA? I'm sure that you guys are scholars and you guys got the right spelling. So the final one, to make something bright by shining light on it. To make something bright by shining light on it. Start with letter I to make something bright by shining light on it. Ooh, I think that we can give Chooks the highest score of the day. I've not gone through, like, I would have to collate it, but I feel like that, yeah, Chooks would go with the highest scorer of the day. So let's give our answer. Miss. So let's say Illuminati. No, please, so we don't do that here. Please, and God bless you. It's Illuminate. Please, Illuminati. Please, so I beg of you. So we'll be going right into the session proper. And I hope that you're ready. I hope that you're excited. I hope that you're ready to receive, and you're ready to get the best from the session today. So a link has been dropped to the group. So if you have questions from this session or while the session is going on, if you have questions, then please, you can register. You can drop your questions in the link. It's a live Q&A. So you drop your questions and I'll take them after the session. So we'll be going right into why we are here. And when I read the citation, when I saw what this person does, I was inspired, and I was like, no, this is a meeting, this is a webinar that I do not want to miss. So I'll be reading his citation now, and I know that he's ready. I've been seeing snippets of what he has in store for us, and I know that you're going to have a wonderful time today. So Mr. Oluwati is a multidisciplinary award-winning creative and brand communications expert with about a decade of industry experience and a restless creative mind. Oluwati is driven to operate at the front lines of the creative communications industry as both a strategic thinker and a sharpened his creative and strategic edge through advanced executive learning in creativity and innovation from Imperial College London and strategic communications, Visa, European Union, UNICEF, World Meristem, Coca-Cola, Sprite, and Peppers, and personal in mentoring and helping young. If your hands are not too busy, please let's give a virtual welcome, clap, ovation, everything that we can look for in the chat. If you want to drop your comments in the chat, if you want to give your reactions, as I welcome Mr. Oluwati Akerele. Thank you so much for joining us today. You have the floor, sir.
Thank you so much, Teresa. I think it's been a very interesting session. Is this a camera on moment for me?
Okay. Yes, please. You're live.
Let's just get started. Yeah, thank you, everybody. I think it's been a very interesting session so far, right? And of course, thank you for keeping the lights on, really, Teresa. You've done a very amazing job, really. Like the last couple of minutes, you've held it down really well. And thank you to the organizers. Thank you to Sunday, Mr. Okoro is around your building. Thank you everybody for participating in this. I can go on to name individually, but I think I do not take lightly that you are all here right now. I been by God's grace from that point of view, right, where you pretty much want to understand exactly and have like guardrails or northern stars that will help you or guide you. There's no the subject of creativity is very broad, but it's also very fluid in the sense that to the degree that the question would be, how can we turn thoughts into intentional expression, right? So this would be conversations around when you think of that really bright idea, right? You think of that supremely important that in some societies, you can take walks around the park, you can ride bicycles around and all of that. Yeah, right. So this would be like, what's my pedigree? Why me, basically, right? I think to the grace of God, to the glory of God, or by the glory of God, I've once say that if you mention 5 brands, I probably have worked on 4 or 3, maybe, right? Anyway, your favorite brands, your favorite campaigns, I've worked in advertising for close to 10 years at the highest level in Nigeria by the grace of God. That, anybody can do. There's nothing that anybody can say that, especially me, that I will not attach the grace of God to. And the reason is very simple, because and by virtue of my faith in Christ, my Christianity, I'm able to ascribe all the glory and honor to God, right? So everything you're hearing today, I think I've built some pedigree so far in my career, spanning across different touch points. So specific areas would be I'm a creative, I like to think of my of course I write. I have if you know, or I mean for those who know, I write Man in Progress every year. It's a yearly memoir where I'm able to document my time, document, my thoughts in the year. And this is exactly think of it as using my left and my right hand. There's this former footballer, Santi Cazorla, which fortunately, I was nicknamed after. So my nickname is Santi, for those that put actually. So on my left-hand side, I write. On my right-hand side, I design, right? So other than that, by those expressions, I'm able to work in marketing, communications. I also do public speaking, right? And general brand management. And this is my website on screen. And you can go ahead to look me up and see what's or two brave people to unmute their mic and answer this question right on the screen. What is the most embarrassing thing you have done or said? Anybody? Or said? You can just unmute if you feel up to it.
Yeah, good day, everybody. It's very pressed, so I just looked for a car beside a car to pee. Unknown to me, somebody was inside the car, and it was tinted glass. So it was, I guess, husband and wife. So the husband now opened.
How did you feel? Like, so what happened afterwards when you opened the door?
Okay, so no face, no case. I didn't see the wife. So we move.
You move.
Yes, I start.
All right. I think to me, I think I wasn't expecting that, right? I never saw that coming, but that would have been so hilarious, right? Anybody else?
Okay. I think it's one thing I will never forget in my life. That was when I was writing a final year course, and it happens to be statistics.
Okay.
So after doing all my calculation and computations, I have 5 minutes to go.
Ouch.
And I just discovered that I just peed on my trouser. So it was a very embarrassing. That was the most embarrassing thing of my life.
Whoa, you peed on your trouser your way to A. Okay. That sounds really interesting, actually. Thank you for sharing. I think I have one, but I'll just take one more before I share mine. Of course, this is not an embarrassing. You can just unmute and speak. And I could call names, actually. Okay, so let's see what we have here. Okay, I think while she gathers her thoughts, I'm just going to go ahead to share mine. Or while he or she gathers her thoughts, I'll just go ahead to share mine. So, in the year was 2017, I think. Yeah. Now, then I was working in Awoyaya in Aja, with one marketing agency like that. And we had a client that it was a bank, and we had to submit something before 4 p.m. because she believed I could deliver really quickly, like really at the speed of light. So she wanted somebody extremely fast and that she could rely on. And then I took on the challenge, right? She had okay, Abidemi, thank you. I saw your message now. No problem. So I was raising down from what's that place? Osaka, London, actually. Anyway, I was just raising down, like I was in a hurry, like a blind hurry. Now, when I got to somewhere in VI, I got at the bus stop, I crossed the other side. I was climbing this pedestrian building. This is where it gets interesting, right? I was climbing the windows that I captured the Lagos skyline, the VI skyline, and it was really funny because I was in a rush, and there's these 3 girls right in front of me. Meanwhile, the bank would be closing in like 4 minutes. I yanked them off the road, like excuse, and I literally like just shoved them aside and I ran up. And they were very upset, like, what's wrong with it? I shouted at me, but of course I couldn't mind. I had the proposal in my hand, and by the last bit on the staircase at the top, I missed my footing and I came right all the way down to their feet back again. Right. And it was so like, as I went down, I was trying to hold myself to grip something, but nah, it was like, nope, not gonna happen. Right. So I I tumbled, I started laughing. My God, it was so embarrassing. I just got up on my feet and I ran away. Like I literally vanished from that environment. So for me, that has been like the most embarrassing scenario ever, right? Again, no face, no case. I don't know if they saw my face because, to be honest, as I landed, I didn't stay on to half a second. I sprang to my feet like a cat and off I went, right? So for me, that's the most embarrassing, I would say. Because there's several others, but I think I want you to think about it as you paying what we call the cost of entry. Now, when it comes to writing a stake, of course lots of millions of dollars, right? And you want to share ideas, yeah? You want to share your thoughts about about the anything that embarrasses you. Now, the reason why I asked that question is I wanted to know exactly how fast, creating something. Why are you worried, or why do you think your thoughts should die as thoughts? Why do you think your thoughts, be expressed? Now, I saw this quote, and it says, embarrassment, right? If you're not willing to look like a foolish beginner, you never become a graceful master. It doesn't take anything to start, right? Sometimes it just takes you to just move beyond that point of being embarrassed, right? Now, that is exactly how creativity works. Now, creativity comes in all forms, various shapes and sizes. The point is to help you understand. The point of this session altogether is to help you understand that the working of creativity, first of all, needs to be shred off everything that makes you feel like you will be embarrassed. And of course, this is not a conversation that is meant for only you. As I'm speaking to you, I'm also speaking to myself, right? Because again, I have tons and tons of exactly how creativity works. Nonetheless, you don't want to be embarrassed. But the point is, if you have been embarrassed before to the degree that you can remember it now as your most embarrassing moment, then I think nothing else can beat that. It's probably almost drowned in Third Mainland Bridge, and then they show you a pool, and then you are scared, you are worried, right? You think about it, I swam Third Mainland Bridge, right? You get what I mean. But the point is, that is exactly how creativity works. Think of it as I've been embarrassed this much, and I didn't die. So again, that is how creativity works. Thank you. Actually, I'm not done yet. Sorry. It is the most common. Is the highest compilation of problems in the world. If you think about it, when you were growing up, or for the OGs before IG, if 5 farmers can clear a field in 10 days, how many days will it take? And you're like, oh goodness gracious, what's my problem with this farmer? Because it's not the problem of if it takes 10 farmers. Someone should just unmute and tell me a mathematical problem in quotes that became your problem because of this book. Anybody? Equation or any problem, from this book, like just think free. Anybody? Variation. Yeah, I think mine was I can't remember this topic, but you had to do with calculating. Really, really messing with my mind. Fun fact, I actually failed maths, the first time I wrote maths, and then I wrote it the second time and I had a distinction. Right. So the point is, again, sometimes it's not always the problem, the courage to express them imperfectly. Again, I'll say that again. We do not lack ideas, right? It's not a problem of ideas, it's a problem of not having the courage to express them imperfectly. You sit in a room, or you have that idea in your mind that, oh, I want to start a content or a podcast or something, right? But you are worried about being perfect first, which is actually the first major problem, because that is where creativity actually goes to die. Now, if you look at this image on the left, what comes to your mind? What comes to your mind when you see this image? Anybody? Anybody? When you see this image on the right, sorry, what comes to your mind?
For me, creativity. Finding solution within the problem.
Yeah, I think for me too, it's also creativity. But ultimately, what comes to my mind and have you to sell this house to me as an agent. So let's say I'm the landlord, I've given you this house, and I've told you, I said, well, don't worry, just sell this out to me as a Lagos agent. Anybody? Thank you. That's one. Right. Now, I'm going to appoint close to 4 people to also sell me. I mean, that was pretty generic. Just close and then you go your way. It's just nobody lives in the toilet. It's just to shit, That's how I'll sell it to you, and I want you to buy it based on if I'm going to appoint 2 or 3 more people to sell this house to me, based on the image you are seeing. Sell it to me as an agent. Okay. The one on the left or right?
Right from my own screen.
Excellent.
You have your gas there. Then you can also use the toilet. In fact, we have by the corner. And then you have to just create one particular side and do your call.
Thank you. Again, if you are telling this to me on phone and I don't see it, okay, let's make it a little trickier. Now, these are 2 images. Anybody else? I want to win. Let me not make the gift known yet. It's very, very tantalizing. Are you a pastor or an agent?
I'm trying to get them to be in that headspace of eternity, thinking of eternity in view. So
that's nice. Thank you. Now, I'm also going to also chip in something there, which is actually, of course, now straight and narrow, and of course, if you're very nice slim fit space, you just go there, you do your thing, and you leave, and it's just 5-10 minutes. Nobody sleeps in toilet. That's the one on the left. The one on the right is it up so that when you are cheating, you have high thoughts, right? You feel really high. Your thoughts will be clear. Some people.
Okay, for the first, can I go ahead with the left?
Yeah,
the one on the left.
Of course.
To consume more the whole space. And look at this particular compound. We have a lot of space. If you have children, they can play very well. And then even if you want to do something, you have every space for yourself. You want to jog, do your Saturday jogging or whatever. You don't have me, you want to graze, want to rear animal. Which one be experience again?
Well, seriously, you do actually, because I'm actually very amazed right now. Because to be honest, I didn't even think of the space, so I just focused. But this is exactly what before now. Just sweep everything. But this one very nice and portable. You stand where like it sits in the middle of the. You send money. Bye bye. Cheers. Now that is exactly what creativity is all about. The courage to express your ideas. They can tell you all sorts. They can tell you that if the road is bad, the government literally came that morning to express your ideas. What you think, what you believe, you just need to have that courage to express it first. In writing, it just has to exist. And mediocrity, this is a call to existence. Let your ideas breathe, let it exist, let it take a life of its own. You just need to be out there first. Then from there, it can begin to getting better. Right? You look at your first Instagram post, look at your first writing, look at your first flyer you've created, right? And then you just look at it and laugh. 6 years, 7 years down the line, you probably be grateful for sticking through clear, shareable piece of expression. Now look at this image, by the right of your screen. Now this is essentially a scenario to sell me read, right? You want to think of what I can relate to, right? Now think of, Spider-Man. Very, very iconic because Spider-Man is related to be very powerful, very strong. Nothing can kill him. He's very fast, versatile, and all of that. But here is he standing dead, a raw idea into an expression, into a shareable piece of expression. Now, I'm seeing conversations that we need to next segment. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So
guys, I've just link to the group in the chat.
Excellent.
So please,
I'm joining right away right now. Is that correct?
Yes.
Brilliant. So guys, come over to me on the brighter side. Come over with me to the brighter side. See you.
Thank you. I would wait and ensure that everybody moves, and then I would leave the call.
Brilliant.
So
Thank you.
You can start joining. Thank you very much, guys. Please, guys, I've dropped the link on the chat. So you're using the second link I dropped, the one that starts at 7:49. So I will just wait for.
Please can we share the link?
Okay, I'll do that right away. Have we shared? Hello everyone. So we are moving. We are moving to a new
Owners, please let me know. Oh, we are 21 already. Okay. Teresa, is this a good time to roll out now? Mr. Sunday, okay, thank you. This is the set of this conversation. Of course, we have also, did some brain, testing or some, interesting conversation around the audacity of Lagos agents and what we can learn from them. And now would be to your ideas. Number one, I started check out the thoughts, right? It will come in, right? But if you don't capture it, so think of it as a fleeting thought or a fleeting idea. If you do not capture its notes, maybe in text, whatever it is, if you do not check out that moment, ideas move fast, right? And if you don't catch them, they disappear. I think the first or second law of energy is energy cannot be created, not destroyed. That idea that you have, it cannot be created or destroyed. Understand that, number one. Number two, it means that if you do not execute it, if you don't write it down, it can move from one form to the next. Meaning it can whatever, right? Writing on this, I have this thought, right? And because of course God is not a waster. Remember the parable of the talents, right? If I give you and you don't use it, I'm going to give another person that. Of course, you do nothing about it. It takes transferred from one point to another, right? That's exactly what works here. Creativity can never be created nor destroyed. And by the way, when I say creativity cannot be created, it means that there's almost, we as humans, right? We are not omnipotent, we are not omniscient, right? So it means that whatever we create is a function of what has been created before. Understand that ideas move fast, right? Now I'm going to put this image by the right here. I'm just tell a short story about it. Now it's an ad for, my copywriter, my friend, sent it for housing, right? Now you might probably understand it. If you don't know Airbnb, you might probably understand it as shortlets, right? Now that is exactly the model from which Airbnb, of course, has gone ahead. So Airbnb then is right. What can I do for a brand like this? And when the copy was sent to me like about a week ago or 2 weeks ago, I thought about it hard and long. That okay, 9 months accommodation is hard to get in Lagos. How can I express that, mentally? And it hit me on a Sunday morning around 6:55. Nothing came out. Right, and I was sleeping, and the thought just dropped in my mind. Again, Kairos moments. You probably just have to understand seasons and how do I create eating about it. And I jumped up and I did drawings, illustrations, tenancy agreement, and all of that between a mother and a baby, of what Airbnb does. Now, if it was a scenario where I didn't capture that moment, right? I didn't start creating immediately that came. It would probably have slipped through my fingers. And when I'm ready or when I'm seated and when I start creating, I probably will not pretty much, send yourself actually thoughts. Now, how do you proceed? Original form, because ideas, they want to make it logical. There's a different thing between clarity and logic. Now, clarity makes sense, not necessarily. It doesn't have to be logical. Now, this is actually an ad for a brush. Now, the brush brand is telling you in one shot, tell everybody that the brush I'm selling is not hard, it's very flexible. From the handle to the bristles is very flexible. How do I say that? Now, you can strip off the label. Heck, you can do that. Remember Coke share a Coke campaign where they literally shred off the labels and they put names for and why does it matter? Now, that said, we move into constructing. You have to give it form. Now, why this is different from the first, which is Chakam, which is capturing that moment, capturing that to get this out there. Is it a post? Is it a story? Is this a voice note? Is it a WhatsApp audio note? Or am I doing a whole campaign to say, okay, I'll post verse 1 or chapter 1 or episode 1 on my Instagram, then episode 2 I'll post it 2 weeks later. You have to an Easter ad, or to put out an Easter creative. Right now, of the babe, it's probably, he's been asking her out for a while and all of that. And she's probably a Christian, she takes her religious life very seriously. And now he's trying to use that as an advantage, as a leverage. And that is essentially, okay, what if Grandma were to do an ad around it? I posted it a long time ago. The point is of it altogether is to construct, give your ideas form.
Can you ask the question again?
Yeah, so what does this image represent to you? What do you see?
Manhood. That's right.
Right. Or should we be saying Happy Children's Day to you? Now on Children's Day in I wanted to put it out for my agency and my service here, right? And Children's Day was coming up. We had ideas and all of that. And I thought about this what if we do a conversation around the internet and our ruined innocence? That's where it started from. So the question would be, okay, what shape it? Okay, nice premise. Now we start thinking, and I presented it to my team at the time. They didn't understand it really. Maybe because I was too, don't worry, I'm not a child of the world, though. I'm sorry, I'm not a bad boy. Right, but they didn't understand it basically, right? They felt they understood. And then I presented it to my creative director at the time. And he saw it and it was wowed. Like instantly, his mind was blown to pieces. The question would be, okay, let's put it up on our socials. And by the way, it was a devout Muslim, which I completely respect. Now, when he said, we cannot put it up, it's too this, it's too that. But what he told me was he encouraged me to put it out on my own page of this creative. And of course, it means it's easy because you see directs there, right? But it takes some mental work to help you understand exactly what brand fits into this specific context. And look at the comments, you understand what I'm talking about, right? So people put in comments to say, hey, I don't understand what this means. Happy Children's Day to me, oh, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay. So it sparked a lot of conversations and it's lost, right? And I was struck between, okay, what do I tell her now? Do I just start a sexual, maybe when you grow up, I'll let you know. And she wanted to know really because, again, kids are really curious, right? But of course, it's not my mouth that the year that teacher mother died. So I let that one go, right? I didn't go. And fast us, are you ready for a chat? And I looked up the down to his office the very next day because, of course, I don't want to take any chances, man. Interview. I got this ad you are seeing right here, got me to bring anybody else. Because what he said was, if you can understand creativity to this point, employ alongside yourself, and we'll employ both of you. And I employed anybody to come and work with me. Are you the football well? And Real Madrid calls you out of the blues. Bruv, or Barcelona calls you out of the blues. That is like that's an absolute. There's a lot that could happen. There's a lot of things that could, like, I pumped him up and eventually he agreed, which actually changed our lives forever till today. That single move changed our life. Like, I'm not even kidding you. It changed our lives forever. Number one, we're pushing your car, we're driving home or something. You see your ad outside. You hear your ad on the radios. You see your TV commercials in TV. One day I was chatting with you're literally walking on stuff and you're seeing all over the city. Right? People are taking pictures and sending, oh, you walked on this. Yeah, I walked on this. Right? Now that is tomorrow. Now, that probably might not have happened if I allowed the fear of judgment, rejection, or embarrassment to hold me down. Now, remember, this is not a conventional creative. This is a Christian background and has a very strong Christian community, right? But then again, it's just a creative, right? It's not, I'm not seeing it, right? That's how I saw it as. And from that on, of course, I had the courage to express my ideas. Don't forget, it was first of all shut down, but then again, it was then expressed by me. Those who see this as just a peach, those who see it as just cherries, opportunities those who see that just bananas. Now, these are on my website actually, so you can go ahead to go and read the case study and all of that about it. But the point is, you need to have the courage to express your ideas. If there's anything you have learned from this a foolish beginner, you will never become a graceful master, right? And of course, people do not fail at creativity. They fail because they are worried. They fail at the stage of it's not perfect yet, from Instagram skits. By the way, by now, you know that sometimes it's even the crazy ones that sell, I don't want to mention names, but of course, the Instagram and TikTok spaces is all awash with people that probably they do not even have half the content that you have, right? They were all, every big creator today was on show at some point, was, imperfect, looked awkward and all of that. Now, think of one idea you had in your mind. It can be a podcast you wanted to start. It could be an email, actually, you wanted to send. Say it in one sentence, write it down. That is you take us to take that first step. Look at this guy here, Chris Clown. He probably started the era of skit making on Instagram. At any small thing, slap, 15 seconds. You had to make them laugh in 15 seconds, right? Now, he started, I would say he revolutionized, the era of creative thoughts. Now, those thoughts do not matter until they are shared. For all intents and purposes around the political space, Emilio Kon, everywhere this man went to, Emilio Kon, he went, every speech he was giving, like, it was literally everybody's hating, right? But in this context, he shared his thoughts. And guess what? He's the president of Nigeria. He said it was his turn, and he did everything possible to ensure that, right? Ikorodu Boys have been featured on global stage, a rip-off, right? And guess what? If it does not get seen, no matter how much skills you have, you get zero opportunities. 0 times 1. If you are not willing to look like a foolish beginner, you will never become a graceful master, right? So this verse specifically needs no, introduction or needs no further explanation. Sometimes it's the foolish things that you think, oh, this doesn't make sense, that actually does come much for real this time. And this
virtual clap, and let's use our reactions and our emojis to say thank you to Oluwa. Stay foolish. You have to be a foolish beginner before you can be a master, a graceful master. And that's just been an exciting section. So if you want to use the mic, you have the floor in 1 or 2 minutes. Please just tell me what stood out for you today. And for me, it's the idea of Shakam, because what was I thinking about? Like, why can't I remember it? And that's just what I have experienced. I will just do a small recording on my phone and just say, oh, this, so that when I wake up in the morning or when I wake up after taking a nap, I can remember what it is I was thinking about. So okay, Butterberry, you have the floor. Please speak.
The more you know how to do. So,
yeah. Thank you. So Samuel King said that let your creativity be seen. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden, and your visibility, and you have 100 or 1,000 skills. 1,000 times 0 will always give 0. So you cannot just say you're a creative person if you're not putting out your content. You can speak now.
Hi everyone, good evening. Actually, that was a very powerful session, and 2 things that stood out for me was 1, it's okay to embarrass myself.
Yes,
then,
definitely.
It would just be my draft, and I would overthink on so many things. But now it's like just press it. And
right into the Q&A. So if you have any questions, please just drop it here. Please drop your questions in the chat and we'll attend to them quickly. So if you're allowed to speak, but if you rather drop your questions in the chat, please do so at this time. So I'll just wait for a few more minutes and I would call you in due time. So yes, I hope you take with you that it's okay to be foolish as you're doing your stuff and as you're doing your content. It gets better with time, and that's perfection that you're looking for. So please, let's put in a fantastic storyteller. I love, right from when I was a child, I've loved, because I on Instagram, so I know that he's a fantastic, fantabulous writer. And if you're a Faith Triber, if you attend close to read like a long message in the era of, everybody has just 1 minute attention span or 30 seconds attention span, it would actually make you sit down and read through whatever he's going to write out. And so you know that he's a fantastic storyteller. So if your hands are not too busy, if you're not battling with chicken and turkey, you cannot even battle with turkey, because turkey is not expensive. Nigeria is not smiling again. So, but if you're battling with chicken, you're battling with turkey, you're battling with anything, or you are chewing gum or chewing anything or holding something, please session with Oluwanti Akerele. So please, VJW.
I can speak. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. As a creative that started but failed, and the conversation on that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I was thinking that the question of failure is what you give. I think I'm very grateful that I attended. Of course, I knew I would attend because Mr. Sunday, if you see Ronti, you want to like to listen to him, because if you don't get anything, at least you will laugh. But now sitting here and just listening to, going through the way the slides are, very creative way around the slide, and which related when the Faith spoke about leaving a lot of things in the draft. So, just to the question now. How do you stay consistent as secretary? Anything else? So it was fair. So the first thing to identify the reason. I really love analysis. I like to analyze things. Rather than just let's go forward. Why do we want to? So that stopped you before, and then consequently, upon that fear, you can now build everything else. And every the time you want to start again, to say you want to continue again as a creative, so it can be fear of whether people will not regard your creative output, which I know is one of the biggest deals with creatives. So once you can get into a space, and not it spoke about that, after that first initial output, it was easy. It's not for you to consume really primarily. Of course, secondly, if you have done creative things over a while, you will realize that you begin to them now in 2026. I would read it as if it wasn't me, who read them. So I realized that they were beneficial to me. So maybe that's what I would pin as my own answer, to say that if you are creating, think first that you are creating for yourself. Maybe that will help you. So you are honest and say that may not make you go too far, but within the short time that you are thinking that you are creating for yourself, before you know it, so far you allow the public seats, but you are creating for yourself. When I say you are creating for yourself, I'm not saying you should sit in the draft. I'm saying you are sending it out, but it's just where now you have crossed the Rubicon, you have moved forward. Every other subsequent product of yours is now seen in a new light. And then people will now go back to your old creatives, and you can now think about audience. But again, I do not know the reason for that fear. That would have been quite helpful. Yeah, thank you.
Whatever you're doing for yourself first, that you're doing it for yourself before you now start thinking of others. So maybe that would limit the fear that you feel and limit why you're afraid. Because now you're doing content creation as a 9 to 5. So maybe when you sit as a 9 to 5, you see that you would have to show up regardless of the fear, regardless of whatever you're facing. You have to show up even when you don't feel like it. Speak and ask your question. I'm still waiting for you, John. Can you hear me?
Right. So good evening, everyone. Good evening, so far, everyone on the call. Right. So this just for me, not really a question. Just my own. I think my commitment to speak up in every space where I am, and so that's why I really did take some points. And I didn't know what to expect because I was studying when that was going on, but. For me, I think it's a writer. I don't do long form. But most times when I do stuff, people kind of, they resonate with it and it's always fact and comment. But I also do it for fun. I don't like pushing out. It's just I did for this last holiday, the sleep holiday. So in my Celestial alumni group, we just had an election, we elected a new president. And then in my way of supporting him, I just did like a little design and copy. And then it read like, it really sparked like emotions, and so like this set is going to be very wow, and it's still quite exciting, and it showed me the power. I went to like, okay, I'm not doing enough. For me, not to accolade, but it gave me that joy to see that the things I have in me, I should endeavor to kind of work on them, work it out. And it's not just for me, it's for others to be blessed and others to also like see the light.
Let's move on to the second question that Mr. Akinwumi will answer. And the question is, how do one build up himself or herself as a creative writer who has passion herself as a creative writer who has the passion for writing but feels like it's not the right time yet?
Okay, thank you for that question. It would be really nice to understand the insight as to why it's not the right time yet, right? Because the good thing about the era we live in right now is the democratization of access Now, what that means in simple terms is you can put anything anywhere, right? Of course, that is to the degree that is not harmful, it does not scare the public in all of those safety concerns, right? Democratization. Now, let's contrast it back to the old times, right? Let's use music as an example. Before you put out music, you probably would have to take your CDs to, you have to pass those gates. Very important. Now, in the era where that is democratized public, now that's writing it down or capturing it. Number two, clarifying it. Number three, constructing it, giving it form, chiseling it out, ensuring that okay, it's neat and it's nice. Again, turn off your data and go and sleep, right? And then come back maybe later in the evening or after a couple of hours and see what he came up with, right? Just press send. It doesn't, when maybe in a function of the context, say for instance, of course, putting Eid conversations out during Christmas. Of course, nobody needs to tell you that.
Yes, I believe it does, and I believe that whosoever email is would have gotten what they need to just start. Like there's no messages, it's to get like an attendance badge, more of like a thank you for coming, more of like a we see you that you came and we do not take you for granted. And here is a badge that you were at the address and any feedback that you have for us. So before we call it a day, I would like VJW to just say one or two things in like to every other platform. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. I don't know. So yeah. So we live in an environment, I have to be frank, where money, the need to eat your food, you need to daily bread. The sparrow doesn't need to think about he eats. He will eat regardless. That time, fish were in the ocean, but now like this. So I think I need to write that down, use it in a comedy later. But my point is that the country, but I do not think, I've read a lot of history of creative people. I do not think that making money comes at the forefront. I think it's a side effect rather than the real. So it's a big problem, So to think that, I want to do this, this is what I want to do, I know how to do this, and then you want to translate it into financial reward. It's not that easy because Nigeria has several problems before they come to creative people, You have to express it. There are now other avenues, like Roti has said everything, I think. There are avenues that you can use, whether you are in a community, whether in a church, put your step forward to say you want to express your, So just do it because you want to do it rather than tying financial reward to it. I think that will help you. It's easier data-wise for me. It's easier for you to get reward through that has joined this meeting as there for me. It means that you identify as a creative person. Because you're supposed to be writing. If you're not writing, you might just say, I read your post 8 years ago. You are a good writer. No, I was a normal writer. All this work is in the past. So maybe that's for somebody. It can't be in the past. You must continue. You have to continue to be that person. And creativity, it dries up. After a while, you will be surprised. It dries up. I can say that for a fact. If you do not, and Sunday too, for people together, and everybody that has spoken here, it's been a blessing. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you, VJW. And so you see that, Master, or that's when we can tag something to you. So you cannot just be a writer and then your last publication was in 2025. Happy New Year of 2025. So yes, one final thing we are going to do before we leave. I just want everybody to drop in the comment section. We're going to write a content idea that you're going to build upon from tomorrow. I just want every one of us in this call to drop one single thing that we would be doing after this call, one thing that will go anyway, because it's one thing to come to webinars like this and say, oh, okay, I've gotten all the juices. I know that I have the grace to do content. I have the grace to be creative. Or I've learned that, I should not be embarrassed. And then just go between after this call. It does not have to be anything big. It might just be, I'll write down that content idea, or I would publish that article or something like that. So I'll be waiting before we call it a day. Don't think I've forgotten. I'll come back to it. Make sure I want to see your comments about one thing that you're going to be doing after this call pertaining to content creation, your creativity, your writing, or the likes. So please Sunday Kuro, please just say one or two things as we wrap up.
Yeah, so I really want to thank everyone who came around for this event. Like, it's a mind-blowing one. Like, from our speaker said, like, he has broken down a lot of concepts for us into tiny bits that we can absorb and run with it. So don't feel that this is not the right time to start. Just start small. Before you know it, small steps, gravitate into something big that the world can begin to reckon with. Yeah, so that would just be my little say for now as we move ahead.
All right, thank you so much, Soniko. I've seen messages, and I think that we are all at the putting out phase, but we want to put out stuff. So I look or your Facebook and do any of those things so that people can check out what you do, people can follow you. My name is Teresa Adekunle, and it has been a pleasure being your moderator today. I am on Instagram as T_Leaves, and I have a person can just drop their handles and what they do. And let's be in touch. Don't let us encourage ourselves to push content more. So that is what we'll be doing for the remainder, or whatever you do, your LinkedIn, the place that you are most comfortable showing up at. Please just drop it so that people can follow you while we get off the call in like 1 or 2 minutes. Thank you very much for joining us. We do not take it for granted. Mr. Akewele, thank you for showing up and showing up correct. Thank you so much. Thank you to VJW. Thank you, because you didn't drop the ball at any point. So thank you guys for coming.
Thank you, Teresa. Thank you, everybody. Put context to a lot of these conversations. I must say that I'm a very big admirer of your work. I read.
Baba, too much. God bless you.
Thank you, sir.
You guys can catch up after our webinar. Thank you. Tip for thanks.